So I've been going through some stuff. You wouldn't think it just looking at me. I seem like the happiest, most easygoing, calm, gentle, considerate, tender-hearted soul around, but I've been going through some surus, and we got a great Alexander technique lesson today. So this video is in praise of my teacher for today, Michael Frederick. Los Angeles Magazine in 2006 named him as the best Alexander teacher in Los Angeles. And I'm not going to say he's the best or he's as good as or compare him with the other Alexander technique teachers I know. So I love every teacher I've had, but Michael does have unique skills. He has the most amazing hands of any Alexander technique teacher that I've experienced. Just his hands, it's just like the laying on of hands. It's just something special, and he's able to guide you to far better, far happier ways of using yourself. And it's amazing to feel yourself starting to widen and to lengthen and to come into a more poised, more relaxed and happier state. So normally I get turns from Michael in the context of learning to become a teacher of Alexander technique, and those terms will last usually about 10 minutes and will be a room full of people, and so both Michael and I are pretty outgoing, off the cuff. We're not really shackled in our emotions and the things that we're interested in. We kind of like to let go, but even we constrain ourselves when we're in a small room with 10, 20 other people. But just the two of us working this afternoon, and just we're able to just go straight from the heart. And when you can work through difficult, painful issues and process them, while at the same time doing the Alexander technique so that you're lengthening and widening, it helps you process those negative emotions much more effectively. Before I got into Alexander technique, I was on all sorts of medications. I was on Wellbutrin, I was on lithium, I was on clonidine, and I had Clonopam in the bullpen. And the great thing about doing Alexander technique is that you don't have to take any medications anymore. That's a joke. Totally kidding. Not going Tom Cruise on you. That's a joke. But for me, I've been asked to drop all my meds, and as you see, I'm practically a poster child for mental health, and I'm just the happiest, holiest, healthiest guy you'll ever meet on this video, anyway. And so I've been studying Alexander technique and practicing it for about a year, and I've been able to let go of my medications, and I'm a different person. I no longer had this haunting fear that I used to walk around with a lot, that I was just like an inch away from destruction. Now I've come back to length and to poise, and I feel happier, I feel more centered, I feel more calm, and to be able to work some of your issues out while doing the technique is just such a gift. The girl in yoga today asked me, so when you're doing Alexander technique, when you're getting a lesson, how much of the time are you talking about Alexander technique? And for me, it's usually about a quarter of the time. But here's the thing, if you talk about Alexander technique during your whole lesson, it becomes monotonous, and the words lose their meaning. And so much of the benefit of a good lesson in Alexander technique comes from being able to talk about other things that are close to your heart, while being conscious of your body. You don't want to get so lost in the conversation that you start constricting or abusing your body or forgetting about your body. The whole point is to learn to move into length and to width and into good use, and to let go of bad, destructive, unhelpful patterns in the way you've been holding yourself and using yourself. And so to be able to talk about relationships, friendships, loves, hates, anything that you feel strongly about while doing the Alexander technique, while getting in and out of a chair, while lying on a table and feeling your back lengthen and widen across the table, and your hips unhinge and loosen up, and your legs and your seem to go longer down the table. is just so damn good. It's just like, oh, oh, oh. I left my yoga class. I drove across town for this, and it was absolutely worth it. I just feel good. I feel more poised. I feel ready to tackle my week. It's now Sunday night, July 26, 2009. And I'm ready to go, thanks to the great direction and teaching of Michael Frederick as he unfolds the Alexander technique for me. And I've got to say, when I started studying Alexander technique, I just could not make sense out of paying $75 a lesson. I just didn't have that kind of money, and I still don't. I just put it on a credit card. Still don't know how I'm going to pay for all this. But I'm in a much better place, and I'll find a way, even if I just spend my last dollar on Alexander technique. At least then I'll be poised and happy as I go to the poorhouse.